Lions fans, what up, though?
What up,
What up, what up, what up?
Welcome to Season 1, Episode 20 of the Lions Main Podcast. On this week's episode, we talk about the Lions' big win against the Tennessee Titans, almost halfway through the season, so we give out our way too early MVP awards, as well as the what surprised us the most. As always, thanks for your support. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube at Lions Main Podcast.
This is the Lions Main Podcast.
Thank you for that nice little introduction, George. Beautiful, beautiful voice. And Drew, that song, as always, gets me going, gets me fired up. But not as fired up. I think I've been saying this like every week. As another Lions ass whooping.
Happy Victory Monday.
Happy Victory Monday. I think when we did our preview, we all projected at least us to cover. I think the cover was like 11.5 points. But I said 41-10. And you guys were like, oh, is it meat riding the Lions over here? I'm like, bro, I think we're going to kick their ass. And lo and behold, we did. So, awesome victory. Where'd you guys watch the game at?
George?
Oh, I watched the game. I watched the game at Union Assembly, so across from Comerica, because we went to the DIC to tailgate, and that didn't end until like right before kickoff. So we're like, we're not going to be able to find a table anywhere. So we just tried Union Assembly and sat at the bar. It was with Jack, Emma, Jim, Jordan.
Good environment.
Great time. Great environment. Nothing. It was like kind of nothing crazy, not like the classic sports bar, but yeah. And Jim was wearing his Khalif Raymond jersey at the bar, so it was pretty hype. If
there was like any game in the ever of the Detroit Lions game to wear that jersey, that's not a great jersey, but to wear it during that game, that's peak. That's peak.
I know. We need to start buying Jim jerseys or something to wear, just some off the wall ones so these players start popping off.
Dude, I'm thinking, should I just snag a Brock Wright jersey? I feel like that's
definitely maybe National Tight End Day. He got his.
I mean, yeah, he is the definition of glue. Like that. Those blocks, getting a touchdown, getting 2 touchdowns a year right when you need them. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind that. That wouldn't be a bad jersey.
I think Ben Johnson just has a thing for Brock Wright. Like, because he's always like on the receiving end of, I won't say always, because Ben Johnson's always in his bag, but I feel like he gets that that special treatment from Ben Johnson.
Has Brock Wright, I want to know what the percentage of passes he catches that are touchdowns. You know what I mean? Like, he's always catching it when we're in a scoring position or running 50 yards for a game-sealing touchdown. Like, how could you quantify, like, a clutch play? Because some of his plays are just, you're like, thank fuck somebody stepped up, and it's Brock Wright.
Yeah.
It's literally an NFL rando. Like, we know who he is, but anybody else watching the game is like, who? Laporta? No, who the fuck is that?
Right.
Who's got him in fantasy? No!
I watched the YouTubers do reactions to the plays, and they'll be like, Brock Wright, what the fuck? Everybody's getting the ball. It's like... That's funny. No, but... So this game was an ass-kicking, but I don't know about you guys. So the first quarter, and a little bit into the second quarter, when it was tied 14-14, after Mason Rudolph juked one of our linebackers' ankles, took his ankles out, juked him out. What were your guys' thoughts at that when it was tied 14-14?
I don't know. I think that I wasn't worried. If that's what you're fishing for, I don't think it was Mason Rudolph. Like,
right. I guess to preface this, I had no idea that we would lose this game at any point, even when that was happening. But I was annoyed. I was like beyond annoyed that, Calvin Ridley, who had, I think, a total of 4 fantasy points in the last 4 weeks combined, had over like 100 yards receiving in the first and early second quarter. That was like a little ridiculous to me. But yeah, it was disgusting because I was watching it with Jim and he was justifying his fleecing he did with Jacob. So it was just, that was horrible. But right. Everything else was great.
I think it's a little bit like it's a testament to. Let me take a step back. I think that when a team, like any team in the NFL, can look like formidable in their first 16 plays. Yeah. Like that's what they say. Like the game, each team has a script of the first 16 plays. And I think like a testament to what is a good team is when shit gets a little wonky, like something weird happens, either it's like a big team or big turnover or special teams play, the team that can like survive or like capitalize on those type of things, that's like a testament to a good team. So yeah, like it was 14-14 when things were kind of like the status quo, hadn't changed. But as soon as, stuff started happening, that's when the Lions, ran away with it. And so, yeah, they probably came in with a good game plan.
Yeah, they came in with a good game plan. I mean, we can highlight every side of the ball in this game, but the one thing that our defense has been doing more than it has in other years is this thing called turnovers. And so once those turnovers started rolling, then we just steamrolled those dudes into the ground. So not worried, just a little more annoyed because a good team like that isn't going to turn the ball over they're the most turnover heavy team in the game. You know what I mean? You can't go out there and play like that against the fucking Packers or the Vikings because it's gonna be a nail biter to the end.
No, I know we're gonna get into some of the highlights, but I don't know. I thought that defense probably didn't play. They outgained us by 300 some yards, which is it's a misleading stat because our average like starting position was on there like 30. But yeah, I think that like we let and we'll probably get into this later, but Jordan Love plays, like we can't give that kind of grace and honestly and time in the pocket to someone that's not named Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, so I guess going into sorry, my fucking cat's jumping up on the counter. But no, I guess going into our first big segment then, who you guys can give your game ball to? George?
Pure and simple, I'm going to give it to Monty. Just for that pass. That pass was awesome. He played quarterback in high school is what I was reading or saw on social media, so that was awesome. He got it to Laporta, National Tight End Day. Written in the stars. Awesome little play.
No, yeah, that's a really good game ball. I don't know how you could choose Monty over Gibbs, but I think you're just being generous. I think you're just being a nice guy. Just trying to spread some love.
I think it's funny because people were worried after the Dallas game that we were putting too much of Ben Johnson's plays on tape. He just stays in his bag. Just stays in his bag.
The well is deep.
The well is deep. It's like Santa Claus digging into like this never-ending bag of
Mary Poppins ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna change your name to when we post on YouTube, Mary Poppins ass. No, but that is a good shout out to Monty because the guy who I'm giving my game ball to is the guy he threw the ball to. I mean, I'm a little biased. I have Sam Laporta on one of my fantasy teams, but everyone was asking, where is he? Where's he been? What's he doing? He's got like 6 catches on the season, and hey, he's back, baby. National Tight End Day. Brock got his, but Sam, 6 catches, I think slightly over 60 yards and a touchdown. He's back, baby.
Yeah, do you think that's? I mean, it's a good game ball, but do you think it's just because J-Mo's out and he's kind of taking that spot?
Nah, I mean, maybe.
Well, I guess should I say is this a sign that we're going to see more targets, more involvement from Laporta in the offense moving forward?
I think yes to that second part because I think our offense, and then this is trying to be as unbiased as possible, looks much better when Sam Laporta is involved, especially in our short game. He's so pivotal.
I don't think that's bias. I don't think that's bias.
Yeah.
I think it does look better. You're right. And I think we do a good job of just spreading it out. If he's open, he'll get the ball. And that's what we've seen all season, and it just hasn't been that way. And if Jameson Williams is down the field wide open, he's getting the ball.
Right.
So,
the one thing I will say is that you've probably noticed a little bit more, but setting up, he's so pivotal in the running game that when he blocks and releases, it's so free out like on the edges or right in the middle of the field. So that plus his little tight end tunnel screens, like those, dude, try tackling him, within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. He's gonna run you over and get all 5 of those yards. So I think that is crucial to our success, especially getting deeper into the season. So no, that's a good question, Drew. But yeah, who you gonna give your game ball to?
Well, we talked about it already a little bit, but I'm giving my game ball to the Titans special teams. No, really, it's the Lions special teams. But yeah, they could not. They were like Swiss cheese out there, man. Letting our returners run straight through them. Khalif had, is it 2 big punt returns?
Yep.
One was for a touchdown. Then Khalil Dorsey had a huge return. Our average starting position was, like I said, like
their 40-yard line or something, I believe 45 or whatever. Yeah.
And so you look at the total yardage, between us and the Titans from this last week, and it's like, or you look at our scoring drives, and it's like outside of the one Gibbs run, it's like 4 plays 20 yards, 3 plays 12 yards, just because they put us in a great position. Yeah. And Jared Goff had his lowest, I saw his second lowest yardage total ever
of his career. Yeah,
of his career, with I think it was 85 yards, and we won by
38 points.
Yeah, 38 points. That's crazy. No, it's not like we didn't have it's only 160 some rushing yards too. So it's like, it was a weird game. One of the weirder games I've ever seen.
So you say special teams, but is this you also saying that in back-to-back weeks you think Jake Bates was, earns a game ball performance as well?
He hit his
100%.
Well, I would shout out Jack Fox first, because I think we only punted once in the first 3 quarters, maybe twice. He totally flipped the field. And he had a 50-some yard punt, and there was no return on it. So that man continues to be all pro caliber. He will be the NFC representative if he keeps playing the way he does. And I guess, yes, Master Bates hit his NFL career long field goal. He deserves a shout out too.
Yeah, that was awesome. Still 100% on the year. Not too many starting kickers. I think there's only still like 5 or 6 of them in the NFL to be 100% from field goals. I mean, we see Justin Tucker every other week missing one. So, hey, we're in good company, man.
He's washed.
He is washed.
Should we give Jim's game ball out?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Pretty easy, low-hanging fruit. He wore the jersey. Khalif Raymond.
Yeah, Khalif Raymond had a really good game. I thought he would have a little bit. Go ahead, Drew.
Oh, he had that other touchdown that was. I think, was he lined up in the backfield, or? Okay, it was in the flat.
He came around behind the quarterback and then caught it in the flat, wide open. And I almost question, this is, like you said, any NFL team, especially in that first half of the game, can go out there and compete. And any given Sunday, anybody can win. But his touches, he was literally just running past the other team. So that touchdown catch, there was nobody on the side of the field. His punt returns, bro, it was almost embarrassing watching the Titans players try to tackle him. So that is a good game ball. He did step up, especially with the absence of J-Mo. So coming in for that role, for that big touchdown. But no, he definitely stepped up. Yeah, so I like that game ball. So going into our next segment, overreactions for the week. And I want to go ahead and say it, start it off, because I think we are getting a little bit cocky. That was the title of our last episode. But, dude, we're the best team in the NFL. And I don't think it's close. We have a few weaknesses, but so does everybody. Like the Chiefs, you could be considered probably they could be the best team. The Bills could be considered the best team in the NFL. But, I think their weaknesses are way more glaring than what ours are. We just need an edge rusher. We need one edge rusher. That's all we need. That's all we need is one edge rusher. Patrick Mahomes fucking sucks. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, the Chiefs haven't. I don't think they've put together a full, a complete game, both sides of the ball. Pat Mahomes has been throwing interceptions left and right. I think he's thrown one every single game so far this season, and I think the reason that they are undefeated is because of their defense. I think their defense is very good. I think that their identity kind of shifted sometime last year, and they're very skilled on defense. So I think that it would be they're Super Bowl champs and they're undefeated. So it's a little, if the Lions were in that position, I would feel disrespected if most people didn't consider us the number one team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm biased, so I do think the Lions are. It's 1 and 1A.
Yeah. What do you guys think about? So then, I guess the only other team that comes to my mind, especially after what they did to the Seahawks this past game, is the Bills. They look pretty competitive, and it looks like I know you guys are both thinking about going to. Drew, you're for sure going to this game in December against the Bills. I think that could be a preview of the Super Bowl, especially with Josh Allen the way he plays every year.
That means you think Josh Allen can get past Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, you're right. He actually can, dude. That's kryptonite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Him, Lamar, Burrow, Burrow can, but Burrow can't get past the other two, so.
But I do think that game could, it's December, it's mid-December, so I don't know exactly which game it is. It's week 15 or something. But
yeah.
I definitely think that game could be super crucial as both teams are jockeying for a first round bye. I think that Bills, like you said, they dismantled the Seahawks. They look very, very good. They just got a bona fide wide receiver one. Keon Coleman is emerging as, a very skilled receiver. What's his name? James Cook. He had 2 touchdowns. He looks good. Yeah, they've kind of got their defense is somewhat healthy compared to years previous. Yeah, I think that game could be 2 teams jockeying for seeding.
I agree. I'm excited for that one. That is, if that one's not going to be shifted in prime time, then the NFL doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. I'm really excited for that one. But that's my overreaction. Best team by far. Someone doesn't think, you guys can argue with your mother in the chat. All right, George, what do you think? What's your overreaction for the week?
Overreaction, you kind of alluded to it when you were just talking. We need a pass rusher. We cram these guys this game, but if you were watching, you could kind of notice that we weren't getting tons of pressures. We felt the absence of Aiden. And Mason Rudolph, 266 yards throwing, fucked over my leg of the parlay. Disgusting. Hate that.
That man needs a helmet getting smashed into his brains by a pass rusher. That's how I like to imagine Mason Rudolph.
Isn't he a racist? Yeah, I say smash him over the head. But
we're referencing the Myles Garrett.
Yeah, I got it.
I know you didn't pick up on that. So
yeah.
But yeah, Mason Rudolph throwing for 266. That's disgusting. So, Calvin Ridley.
Maybe we went and got Myles Garrett like we should, and by the trade deadline, then we could assault something like that. Yeah.
Man showed up dressed as Terminator.
That was dope. That was dope.
The man loves Halloween.
He does. There was the one Halloween party that he had, and at his house, he had all the skeletons and corpses of all the quarterbacks in the AFC North. AFC North.
He had the graves of everyone he had sacked that season. I'm pretty sure it was.
That's what it was.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean he's probably the best player, defensive player in the NFL. You can maybe make an argument for
the last 5 years. You could flip a coin, and he's going to be in that discussion. But no, George. So I don't think that's very much so a overreaction. But I would think, for some reason, half of Detroit Lions fans don't think that it's a dire need. I think
and that's
so.
What frustrates me. They look at we just smashed the Titans, but it's that was expected.
Right.
I mean, Drew and I were talking about if we would destroy this team last week, but yeah, we both kind of thought we would. We were a little humble in saying it, but we need that pass rush. We need it.
Yeah, and I agree. And hope. Go ahead, Drew.
No. I do think that like taking into account the last 2 games, the 2 games without Aiden, it definitely, I sense like the, I don't know, maybe the goal, the coaches like are like, okay, we're just gonna put a bunch of points on the board. Like that's been like their game plan, right? Because they kind of have factored in that we're not going to be as talented as a defense, as good at stopping opposing quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys have sensed that, or maybe I'm like overreading into it, but
yeah,
a little bit
think
of an identity.
That is interesting you bring that up. I do think we have the mentality that like, no, we can score at any time we want. You saw it even with Minnesota. It's like, all right, go score that touchdown with 2 minutes left. Go ahead. We're going to score. No one's worried. Like that mentality. So,
well,
I can't say I love it though.
It's easy when you got Sonic and Knuckles back there.
Yeah, no, you're right. That 1-2 punch.
I know that George is booting up that T-shirt. He's definitely getting one of those Sonic and Knuckles T-shirts.
Of course. That'd be the quickest purchase of my life.
Give George any reason to buy anything from Nintendo, and it's a done deal.
Nintendo, try Sega, buddy. Come on.
Speaking of, no, not even close. But speaking of booting up, George, you've been playing the new Call of Duty?
Don't ask stupid questions, Drew. Come on.
He wants to get off this podcast so he can boot it up.
I'm itching for it. I'm trying to find Kyler Murray out there. But yeah, if you have Kyler Murray in your fantasy, bench him, trade him to somebody that doesn't know about Call of Duty. Buddy's cooked for the rest of the season.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 came out, and George is already 4th prestige, level 35.
I am not. I have a job and things to do. I'm not that high level, but I will cook your ass. Simple.
Yeah. For some reason, I highly doubt that. But anyways,
says your bitch ass.
What's your play style? Hey,
you've never been good at it. You've never been good at shooter
What's your
games.
play style, George?
You're hilarious.
Tell him what's up. What's your play style?
He camps.
I can't.
That's right.
Right, I can't.
Yeah, he's a camper.
Yep,
he sits behind the wall or the door with a shotgun.
Yep. Kane's the type of player to blame everything on you. It's always your fault. Yada yada.
That's just my personality. That's nothing to do with the game.
Damn, that George, you just kind of described our missing co-host.
Mr. Leave the group chat?
Yeah. Did he crash out of the pod?
No. Jim's out on a work trip, everybody. That's why he's not here, if you were wondering.
Yeah, I don't think they were wondering. They probably just want him off of the podcast. Yo, if he even listens to this, so we got to come up with a plan. And Drew, I know you were talking about this, but to get him banned from GroupMe so he can no longer participate in our fantasy football conversations. So I think we're gonna all go report him. And once he listens to this, if he does listen to this, if he is true to the podcast, then we'll know. But
yeah. If he doesn't call us out, then we know he didn't listen.
Right. He doesn't review his work. Switches red flag if you're hiring.
He's like, I'm not on. I'm not listening to that.
Right.
I honestly could see him doing that. Anyways, Drew, overreaction of the week.
Man, we talked about it on the last pod. I brought it up a little bit. Got some concerns.
Little bits.
I got some concerns. I got some concerns about Taylor Decker. Man, he played honestly pretty terrible. If there's one shit list player for this last week, Taylor Decker's the guy. I don't have the exact stats, but it was so obvious if you watched the game. He let up 2 sacks in the first quarter. 2 drives in the first quarter, yeah. And honestly was just missing guys left and right, literally left and right. Couldn't block him either way. And I guess my overreaction is like, it's kind of like, okay, last week we were like, our concern level was low. Do we need to consider, making some changes? Do we need to
what do you change?
Is this like threat level midnight? Like where are we?
No. And I heard your concerns, and it So if a 10 is bad, right? Like you're in fucking med school, right? Like the injury is hurting, excruciating. It's a 10, right? 0 or 1 is like as low as possible. I'm at like a 3, and I think the worst this season it'll get is to like a 5. But that being said, like we can't replace him with any.
No.
Like that's the issue. So I just have to keep a blind eye to it. Pray.
Just pray for Goff's blind side. And I mean, he's a good player. He should. I mean, he knows enough. He's been skilled enough. He should bounce back. Unless he's truly fallen off, and then we're fucked.
Hey, just put Brock right at tight end on that side or something. Like that's all you need.
Yeah. No, that's honestly great. And obviously, like I know that it's overreactions for a reason, right? I know that
right. Yeah.
Left tackles don't just grow on trees. Especially like in this NFL, like you can't just go trade for an offensive lineman. Period. Like they're not on the market. They're so valuable, and you don't see that. Like, tell me when the last in-season trade for an offensive lineman happened, and that's not what I'm even suggesting. But just want to express my concern. And, I do think, like you brought up a great point. Like he probably needs more help on that side. So if that's running more tight ends on that side, or 2 running back set where
pass blocking
they can chip. Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully, as much as Ben Johnson is dialing up fucking linemen running downfield for passes, hopefully he's recognizing some of those weaknesses and dialing up some chip blocks from Sam Laporta, Brock, if they go passes, running backs, all the things that you're saying. And so I'd say the worst it'll probably get this year for me is a 5, but I'm still hopeful that he'll be solid on this quest to the Super Bowl.
I guess, yeah, it's, Jared Goff has been great against the rush so far this season. I don't think that he is great when there's like basically a unblocked rusher coming at him, because he literally can't. Like he's not
right,
quick and most immobile, and that
right.
I feel like his sacks that he's taken this season have been that, like where it's just like some guys running free and
free willy.
So that's happening a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
There are only probably a few people who just the statement of like, he's not great when a guy's running free off the edge. I was like,
full speed running at
it. I'm thinking of myself standing there and Myles Garrett going off the edge. And honestly, I'm probably more athletic than Jared Goff with my legs.
But of the elite,
I'd get creamed.
Of the MVP contenders this for quarterback,
right?
Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson,
Lamar,
Jaden Daniels, all of them can improvise a little bit more than Goff can.
That's a great point.
A fuckload more. Are you shitting me?
That's what
He's like, don't even be generous.
Yeah.
So then I guess what I'm taking it from this like slight slander is that like your MVP of the season so far, that's not Jared Goff, or
for me?
Yeah.
Well, I did place a future on him to win an MVP. But with my betting track record, it's who knows. That's maybe I cursed him.
That out loud.
No, my MVP of the season so far is Ben Johnson. I think that he, the easy pick would be like Jared Goff, but I do think that.
Go on.
I do think that Ben Johnson has been superb. What we were just talking about. He's been deep in his bag. He's schemed guys open. He's really, I think, created a system around our players, around, we have our running backs and around what Jared Goff's, talents are, to enable a lot of the success. And we've put up more points than I think is in the last 4 games, we've put up more points than 14 teams in the NFL have put up all season.
That's crazy. That's a testament to how shitty some of these teams are. Holy crap!
Well, that's basically half the league.
Yeah.
We've put up more points in half the amount of games.
Wow.
Basically, a lot of teams have, haven't had their bye yet.
Right.
And
fuck, dude.
They played 8 games. Crazy. So, I do want to
That's a
give a shout out.
crazy stat. That's a crazy fucking stat.
Yeah, and so he's going to be the head coach for the Bears next year.
Well,
If you say
I don't
that
think he
shit,
will.
Drew, stop. Yeah, don't be
He
talking
said
like that.
if you say that shit like you didn't just say it.
Oh God!
If you speak that into existence,
if you speak that seriously again, I'll fucking kill you.
All right, I guess then the last question then for you, Drew, before we move on to George and myself is: so fuck one, marry one, kill one. Ben Johnson, Dan Campbell, and Aaron Glenn.
Easy as hell.
I'm not going to answer this.
All right,
I'll
George,
answer.
Who you got then? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm
let's hear
marrying
it.
Dan, fucking BJ, and killing Aaron Glenn. Simple.
Oh, you racist?
No, dude, no. You kidding me?
You don't think the defense has performed almost just as well as the offense?
You made me. You forced my hand on that one. Are you kidding me?
No,
I like the
yeah,
defense.
No, you're good. I like that
I'm biased
pick.
as hell.
Yeah,
I honestly, I was. That's the answer. That's the correct answer. That's what
I agree.
I just wanted the
Dan-
opportunity to call George racist.
Dan's gonna hold you down. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll hold you down for life. And Ben Johnson,
he's looking for the next adventure
Hey,
after winning
right.
the Super Bowl. So
Dan Campbell's gonna love you. He's gonna cry with you. He's
Here we
gonna
go.
laugh with you.
we just joked that Ben would leave us, but I mean, he stayed longer than any of us thought he would. So
because he is getting paid though. Let's put this in perspective. He's getting paid like a head coach. So
Well, also like
That's fine.
I do think he's approaching this intelligently because he sees the potential here. Obviously he's seen the potential for the Lions, but also look at how many coordinators leave to take bad head coaching jobs. Like people were putting him, as the Carolina head coach, right? Like
I thought he was supposed to go to the Commanders, bro. Because I've been looking at that like, thank God
Christ.
he didn't.
Thank
That would
Christ.
be hell.
I remember
for
at
the
least
league.
this last season,
Okay.
he was linked to the Carolina job.
Okay.
And look how many guys have taken these jobs and
Career ruiners.
Yeah.
even like Robert Salah,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he sucked.
and
Yeah.
he's I mean, gets fired as a head coach, and their defense tanks. He's a defensive minded coach.
I tell you
Who's
this
the
right
problem
now.
there?
Because like Aaron Glenn will definitely have some head coaching job offers or like looks in this offseason. If he goes, I wouldn't mind. Hey, call up Robbie, D coordinator, bring him back. I wouldn't mind that.
It's hilarious that he was interviewing for the head coaching job. Thank God we didn't get him. A Michigan man too, from Dearborn.
Like we would have the most frightening coaching staff with
Right.
Dan Campbell and Robert Salah, just all traps.
Should get Vrabel too, just for fun.
That would be crazy.
Vrabel, that man is the biggest injustice that's happening in the NFL right now is that Mike Vrabel doesn't have a coaching job. That is crazy to me.
Did he want another coaching job, or did he want to maybe take a year or two off
I think he interviewed. I'm pretty sure he
Yeah.
interviewed
for the Patriots job? No.
I think so. And they took Mayo. I don't know. I think
don't
Mike
know.
Vrabel's like a great head coach. Look what happened in the Titans.
Yeah, exactly.
He got blamed for the Titans are probably the worst team in the NFL. Maybe Carolina, but
Such a fall from grace. They had such a good roster not too long ago.
I
It's
know.
disgusting.
It's true. Last point on that. You guys ever think you would see a black head coach head coaching the New England Patriots, a Boston team? Oh, I guess the Celtics have a black coach too. Fuck, never mind. Forget that topic.
Missoula?
Isn't he black?
I just don't know.
He's definitely black.
He's not white.
Light skin, maybe. Yeah, definitely. I just made a joke because it's like one of the most racist cities in America, like jokingly known as that, especially sports racist.
Especially
So,
Rob Kraft. Rob
right,
Kraft, like
Kraft mac and cheese, baby. All right, so George, MVP, baby, lay it on us, man. Come on.
Mid-season MVP. Even though Drew just dogged me for choosing
easy
this.
pick. He's picking the easy one.
Yeah, I'm picking the easy one, the deserved one, Jared Goff. We're talking about him as a
Right.
possible actual MVP. That's crazy. I mean, we gotta hope that like Lamar just falls off somehow. But I think he's got 1,695 yards. Sheesh. 13 touchdowns, 115 passer rating. I think the team has. I think we were talking about this before the pod. The team has more touchdowns than he has incompletions, and he's thrown a perfect game this season. Kiss my ass.
Yeah. And I think it matters more too what happens down the stretch. I think Jared Goff is more equipped, especially in those later games in the season, to continue this performance than say a chaotic Ravens schedule on a Ravens team. So hopefully, hey, front runner for the MVP. So I'd like that pick, George. I don't think that's it. I don't think that's low hanging fruit, George. Fuck Drew. All right, that's a good one.
No, I obviously he's.
Yo, Drew, you need to start making better picks. So maybe take the easy pick. All right, next time.
Bro, I've picked Monty over. Don't even.
That's
honestly,
crazy, Drew.
It is. I've been incredibly unlucky on my. And we'll get into this in a bit, but
yeah,
honestly, I need to start fading myself. So
fair enough. But I like that. I like that pick, George.
He's got something. I was gonna say, Jared Goff does have like he's on a crazy 5-game. Is it 4? I think on this win streak, this 5-game win streak.
Yeah,
he's hasn't had a passer rating below like 115 or 120.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact number.
This might have been the lowest.
But did you share this the incompletions versus offensive touchdowns?
Yeah,
Did you
say
that?
Said that.
Sorry,
yeah.
I might have missed that. Yeah, I do think that's incredible.
Bro's zooted right now, but yeah, no, incredible feat. I just want to. I love the offense. I love what they're doing, but I want to bring a little bit of attention to the defense. Defense wins championships, bro. That's what we're begging for, an edge rusher. But hey, my MVP, Brian Branch. Dude's a monster. He has to be horrible to game plan for. It's impossible. He's lined up out, at linebacker one play. Next play, he's lined up over here wide out. Then he's back there playing safety, jumping from the midline in the field across to the out of bounds line, intercepting the ball. So
put his ass at edge.
You said what?
Put his ass at the edge.
Fuck me. I mean, he'll fucking probably be better than 16 of the edges in the NFL, starting edges in the NFL, at least half of them. So
put him at left tackle.
Put him at, if Decker's fucking up, throw Brian Branch out there, man. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Let him chop a motherfucker or something. Anyways, they got me going crazy right now. So Brian Branch, man, 5 picks, 38 tackles, 4th in the team in tackles, and he missed the game as well for an injury. And then
game and a half.
Game and a half. So tied for 2nd in the league in picks as well. So tied with no other than your boy Kirby. But no, that's my MVP, man.
That's a great pick. So much better than Jared Goff.
I think mine is more fun. Mine's more fun, I should say.
Oh, that's what I think he might have taken the mantle of my personal favorite player from Penei Sewell. I love Penei, but like BB's game changer, man. He's like he's all over the field. He's a ball. Like, he didn't actually have the best game against Titans, but
right.
Yeah, I think that might be the next jersey I buy.
That'd be a good one. I think that'd be one that I think he'll be a line for a while to come. I mean, if we're gonna pay anybody, like I love Kirby, I love the rest of these guys, but we gotta pay BB. Sorry, he's got to come first when his contract is due. Next thing I want to talk about is surprises of the season. So going into this, there's probably something that you didn't think was gonna happen. So mine, I was watching what he did in the UFL, right? And I was trying to tell you, Drew, in the beginning of the season, we talked about it a little bit in the beginning of the podcast. I was trying to talk to you a little bit and be like, hey, man, I think he can do good. He hit like a 63-yarder, 64-yarder, whatever. Some crazy fucking 60-yarders in Ford Field. I did not think Jake Bates would be at this level. So, like, I was lying to you before week 1 when I said Jake Bates is that guy. I actually am so surprised, but thankful that he's performing like this. But that's my surprise of the season so far. Any thoughts, anybody?
What do you want me to say?
Drew should be surprised. That's the only. I'm not surprised. This is what we were expecting.
I feel like it's been mislabeled. I was never against Jake Bates as a player. I was against the institution of kicking. I think it's stupid in the NFL. I think kicking
Larry David.
Yeah, Larry David-esque take.
Is that a Larry David take?
I think he actually says that in
He had an interview with Rich Eisen where he goes off about it. It's hilarious, but
yeah,
you'd love it, Drew.
I probably wouldn't.
Speaking of, I love Rich Eisen. All of his shit's good, anyways.
Oh, is that the clip where he's talking about like they're incredibly unathletic, like they're
yeah. No, it's that one.
Mm-hmm.
I might have heard
Going on
that.
a rant. All right, George. What's your surprise of the season?
No way we could have ever really predicted this, but the Honolulu flu. All the teams that play us, the next game they lose. And there's something also Drew was saying with the spread. Not sure, or they cover or whatever. I don't know what that's about. Don't bet. But Honolulu flu, players are losing, or teams are losing right after they play us. They're beat to shit after. I don't know. It's kind of fun. I guess we'll see what happens with the Titans.
He goes, bless you, because you're sneezing out here.
Right.
Corny.
Yeah, Honolulu flu is kind of, I love that. It's kind of a cold, I didn't know they were calling that. Did you come up with that, George?
I didn't come up with that. Hell no.
Who'd you steal that from? Give him credit, man.
Who did
Jordan Stauffer? World's greatest linesman?
Credit Jordan Stauffer. Credit goes out to Jordan. Shout out Jordan Stauffer. You don't listen to the pod, but you're getting shouted out.
Bro's a legend in Detroit, so you got to give props.
Detroit legend Jordan Stauffer.
Now, George.
The Honolulu flu, George.
I
you
wonder
guys
if the Titans will beat the Patriots next week.
And that'll be the biggest indicator.
It kind of sounds like Bane. It kind of sounds like
darkness is your ally.
It was like Bane mixed with Jar Jar Binks.
But we will see. I'm interested to see if the Pats will be able to beat the Titans. Those are two yuck teams playing each other, so it'll be funny.
Yeah, so I mean, if the Titans lose against the Patriots, then I think it holds up. I mean,
it holds up.
I don't know how many Patriots games you've seen. I guess like since I don't know if you've watched Drake May at all. He obviously he left. I don't know if you heard this. He left this last game with a concussion, but he's been playing pretty well. He's looked good. Like I don't know.
One of my only bets I lost this year was the Drake May. I chose the under for rushing yards. It was like 25. First game he started. I was not familiar with this game. Boy has some wheels. So he's been actually playing pretty good.
Yeah. But Patriots are trash. They did beat the bum Jets though. That's so funny.
Dude.
I'm kind of sad that Aaron Rodgers didn't tank the Green Bay Packers as a franchise. All-time move by them. That's why Green Bay is, it's Green Bay. But yeah, it's fun to see the demise. And hear me out here. So I was thinking last night, I was thinking about the path. Aaron Rodgers, if they lose another game, he retires midseason. He's just gonna call it quits. Or at the very least, he's gonna retire. There's no way they're gonna make the playoffs. He retires.
Right.
What's his name up in Minnesota? Sam Darnold plays well for the rest of the season, earns a contract, earns like a Baker Mayfield type of contract somewhere else, somewhere with the Raiders or someone like that. Signs Sam Darnold. They start JJ next year. JJ gets hurt or turns out to be just absolute ass because he's a Michigan, University of Michigan guy. Minnesota signs Aaron Rodgers off the street. Completes the Brett Favre template.
The Holy Trinity.
The Holy Trinity.
Saying
Brett Favre didn't work out with the Jets. Comes back to Minnesota.
He had a few good seasons with Minnesota.
Yeah, it took him to NFC Championship. They were almost won the Super Bowl. He threw a pick on the last play.
What if just to complete your fantasy, you said when Sam Darnold gets signed by a team, what if he gets signed by the Jets? Honey, I'm home. Head ass.
Comes back, gets mono again. Hey, what? Tell me why we study history, George. Why do we study history?
Hey, so we don't relive it again or whatever.
It's because it repeats itself.
Sure.
Time's a flat circle.
Sure, I guess.
Will Aaron Rodgers steal money from the poor too? I wouldn't put it past him.
Honestly,
Undoubtedly.
or send a dick pic. Brett Favre did.
George Haidt did. So Drew, what's your surprise of the season?
Holy shit, George! What did you just send me?
You're surprised, aren't you?
You gotta squint for that one.
Put your readers on.
My surprise of the season is honestly like overall just the strength of NFC North. I think coming into our season preview, whatever it was 10 weeks ago, we knew that the NFC North was going to be a strong division. I don't think any of us could have predicted it was going to be this goddamn strong. I didn't think that the Bears would be above 500 at this point. I didn't think Minnesota was going to be like at this point in the season, depending on, no matter what you think how it will be at the end of the season, but having Minnesota, fighting for a top spot in the conference. I think we knew Green Bay was going to be formidable, but it's not like if you look at across the division, like the NFL as a whole, the NFC North is so much stronger than every other division.
No, for sure.
It's the only division that has all the teams in with a positive point diff. I don't know if it's. I'm pretty sure it's the only division where all the teams are above 500.
Yep.
And
I'm looking at it now. That's true.
And I think there's only been 2 NFC North games total. So, I've kind of been alluding to this in previous pods. It's going to be an absolute slugfest coming down the stretch as we all start playing each other.
Yeah.
So.
No, that is a I think that's a massive surprise to all of us. And when I say all of us, I mean everybody across the U.S. Because even if you look at like sports media, it's almost absolutely annoying as fuck how much they keep mentioning just NFC North, this, and that. But I will say disagree with you because you think it's going to be a slugfest, and I'm being genuinely unbiased here. I think we're going to kick the Packers' fucking teeth in, get a 2-game lead on them, and I think that will persist like almost all the way throughout the season. Now, I think each of those teams will drop some pretty shitty games here and there. I think they're going to be 2 of those teams are going to be slugging to get into the playoffs. But I think the Lions are going to kick the absolute shit out of the rest of this division. But I agree with you. The strength of this division is absolutely unheard of. What is this, like the first time in NFL history that through like week 5 or week 6, I don't know at which point they said this, but the combined record of these teams, that's like the highest of all time. So, no, completely agree with you. That's surprising.
I do have, and maybe you guys will completely disagree with this, but my fear and why I say that is because I genuinely think without a pass rusher, we have the worst defense in the division. I think the Bears' defenses look very good. And the only reason that they've lost 3 games is because their offense. Minnesota's defense very good. Has played very well. And the Pack, all 3. And so, maybe I don't think that's that hot of a take, but maybe I'm just being a wet blanket.
Yeah. Maybe.
I agree with you, Drew. Without Aiden, it's easy to say that. Like, for all the points you just said. I don't know. Our defense is questionable, but, I mean, look at the stats as far as the numbers that they put up against us. Thank God they didn't score a ton of points with those, but, it's concerning. It's been concerning since last year. We've definitely improved since last year. With Aiden out, we've seen that. So, I don't know. Time will tell, and we'll weather the storm.
I also, I think, Kane, you made a point to talk about turnovers at the beginning of the pod, and I just am more of a believer that turnovers are have a large like luck. They're largely determined by luck. Like you see a couple of the turnovers like that Mason Rudolph threw, and it's like the guy was just in the right place at the right time. And everybody gets that, but I do believe in turnover luck, and so I don't want to rely on turnovers. Like this last game, the Titans-Lions game, would be so much closer if the ball bounces a different way. Like
right,
the
if it
Titans
wasn't
were
4-0,
driving, right?
4-0 in turnovers. No, yeah, I agree with that.
And so
Yeah. I mean, all good points. And when that luck does run out, it's going to be a eye-opening experience. I'm just hopeful that like the Patriots in their heyday, when you look at the turnover differential at the end of the season, there's going to be like plus 25. Fucking ridiculous. Like, I just hope that we can continue that on. So you bring good points, and you're trying to bring my mood down. I'm trying to say we're going to shit stomp these guys, and you guys got me all somber over here. But no, it's going to be a battle. It's one of the other divisions, though. Not to just brush that aside. I'm in agreement with you guys. One of the other divisions I want to talk about was the NFC West. Have you guys seen their records? Every single team is 4-4, except for the Rams that are 3-4. That division. Now you talk about an absolute slugfest. I think they're all good teams. Like, if we see any of these teams in the playoffs, really, like the Rams, are we really trying to see the Rams again in the playoffs? The Seahawks? Are we really trying to see the Seahawks in Ford Field again? 49ers, are we trying to see them in the playoffs? And then the Cardinals, will fuck them. They suck.
Call of Duty's out.
The Cardinals are leading that division.
They are leading that division.
Dude, Call of Duty's out. Remember, it's not. They're not going to be leading for long.
College jumping on the sticks.
Right. But like that division right there is going to be a fight to the very end. And so I would hate to honestly see any of those teams be like that fourth place team coming into Ford Field. But just another division to look out for. One that we always have problems with.
I'm not afraid. I hope if we play the Rams again, which they're 3-4, so they're last in their division right now. If we play them, Matt Stafford will die on that field.
Well, who's going to tackle him? Brian Branch?
You get around there, George?
No, you said Brian Branch. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, like
somebody's going to do it.
Come off the edge. Fuck it.
Hey, speaking of tacklers, George, what happened to your boy?
Early on, yeah, I hurt his ankle, got carted off. We're okay. We'll be fine.
He'll be back. He'll bounce back.
We're talking about Rodrigo, by the way. Kane, I know you didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that. I saw it. We talked about it. You texted about it. I thought he walked off the field of his own fruition, but probably got carted back to the locker room. No, is that what you guys saw?
I think that's what I read. I also saw him walking around on the sideline. So I
saw a picture of it on Twitter.
Okay.
Or X.
You believe everything you see on Twitter?
That's where I get my get my betting tips. Straight from Twitter.
So you get your political news?
Yeah, keep listening to Elon, buddy.
Speaking of, November 5th, trade deadline day. Most important day of the year, baby. We need it.
Make sure we get our trades in. Yes.
Make sure we get our trades in, yes.
Did you guys see the Dan Campbell press conference today?
Yes. That's
what did he do? Endorse Trump or something?
No.
No.
George beat down so bad he wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah, I know. But what did he say during his press conference?
Bad day.
He's been asked every single like midweek presser about a trade, but today he was like giddy. He was jumping up and down,
dude.
Kind of
like Elon doing the little.
We got something. So we got something.
I mean,
what did he say?
Think that's what the speculation is. I don't know exactly what he said, but he says it's coming, and he was giddy. So
coming.
I don't know. It reminded me of the reaction from the front office when was it Kayvon Thibodeau that went 1 overall over Aiden?
Oh, and then they're celebrating.
And they're like giddy. It was like that. So.
Just to speak on that for a moment, just bring us back a couple of years. That's always that's how you know you have a shitty front office, when the other front offices is like, what a bunch of dumb fucks, and they're like jumping up, laughing and dancing. That's always a telling sign. But
played out well too. Aiden's
I'm
great.
excited. Who the fuck are we gonna get? Oh man, excited.
It's got to be Zadarius Smith. That's what I think.
I'm cool with that. At this point, I'm cool with it, baby. Get him over here, man. I need him. Come on.
But
George, you gonna get a Zadarius Smith jersey once he gets signed?
No.
Jim will pop out with one. Watch though.
But if it's
It's Max
I
Crosby,
told Connor
bro.
if we get Max Crosby, that I would buy him a Black Lions jersey and he has to wear it on Sundays. And he said yes.
Fuck Connor. He's
I
like
know,
one
now
of
I'm
the
like,
worst
fuck
friends
that.
in the friend group. Buy me the Black Max Crosby jersey. Are you fucking kidding me?
the reason, George, you should share the reason you're doing this because he's a Raiders fan.
He's a mega Raiders fan. It's annoying as fuck.
And you feel bad for him. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, nowadays I do. Yeah. The Gruden days, I wanted him to shut the fuck up, but
You feel bad for? I don't feel bad for him.
I think it'd
Not
be
even the least
impossible to
bit.
feel bad for that guy, but
you got a
Fair
little
enough.
rivalry, Drew. You and Connor. Ever since,
Dude, he didn't let me into the. He didn't get me into the draft.
yeah, ever since he stabbed you with that pencil, right? Something like that.
I don't remember.
now you're
Smoke-
bringing up some like middle school war flashbacks.
George
right?
doesn't. George holds grudges. He doesn't let go of that stuff.
I do not forget anything.
He still remembers all the hot girls from middle school too.
All right, Jesus Christ, Drew. Shut the fuck up.
George
with
definitely
that shit.
remembers. George definitely remembers all the Fortnite skins.
Yeah, Renegade Wada?
Holy shit. All right, we got to end this podcast. All right, thank you everybody for listening to this episode of the Lions Main Podcast. Join us on Friday for our preview of the Green Bay Packers. I fucking hate those cheeseheads. Thank you guys. Thanks as always.
This is the Lions Main